Hey, what's up, Leo? Here's your reading for May 2017. I already pre-shuffled the cards. It's going to get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Leo with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. Alright, Spirit, please release the first base card for Leo for May 2017. Alright. The Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, Spirit, please clarify why the Five of Swords is in reverse for Leo. Why is the Five of Swords in reverse for Leo, Spirit? Why is the Five of Swords in reverse here? They're searching for that card for you, Leo. Okay. This card ended up falling like this. I'm not going to take these. Too many cards fell out. But I'm going to go ahead and take this one. The Magician in reverse. Okay, I didn't get a chance to even say anything. The Four of Swords in reverse. Okay, Spirit, please release Leo's second base card. The Eight of Stones, which is also the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, Spirit, please clarify the two cards. Okay. The Eight of Swords. One more card, Spirit, clarifying why the Eight of Stones is here for Leo. Why is the Eight of Stones here? The Seven of Stones. Alright, Spirit, release up to 3 cards for what's crowning Leo. What is in Leo's thoughts in May 2017? What's in Leo's thoughts? What's crowning Leo? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take these two. The Seven of Cups in reverse. The Hermit. Could be dealing with a Virgo Leo, possibly. Alright, Spirit, please release up to 1 last card. Okay. The Nine of Stones in reverse. Spirit, please release up to 3 cards for advice for Leo for the issues at hand. The Three of Cups in reverse. Up to 2 more cards, please, Spirit, for advice for Leo for the issues at hand, please. Okay, this one fell out. The Hanged Man in reverse. Okay, Spirit, release up to 1 last card for Leo for advice for the issues at hand for May of 2017. Okay. The Ace of Swords. Okay. All right, Leo. We're coming into the reading with the Sun. Cool, not bad. Let's go ahead and start this one here. Right. So here's your first base with the 2 clarifiers. This is your advice, and then this is what's crowning you, or in your thoughts. So Leo, I see that we're coming out of a space or a moment of defeat, which is recognized by the 5 of Swords here. Also, the 5 of Swords, when it's in reverse, can also signify how situations get better with courage and persistence. So I see that you are persistent in coming out of this period of despair, of maybe defeat, maybe against yourself. But I kind of feel like it was maybe kind of for yourself, Leo. I don't know why I'm kind of getting that feeling. I'm picking up on that. What's making me kind of conclude that it's you're coming out of that period of defeat against yourself is because in your thoughts you have the 7 of Cups here, which is the illusion of success, but in reverse, coming out of it. So we can describe it as when hidden problems come to the surface, and also when you have a realistic outlook on things. It's pretty good, Leo. I feel like you're gaining clarity. And why are you gaining clarity? Because you're picking up on some of the little Virgo traits here of the Hermit, which is pretty good, Leo. You're seeking that enlightenment. I feel like you're starting to realize, Leo, that things aren't what they always seem to be. Everything that's painted gold doesn't always shine, nor is it meant to. Could be an illusion, right? But what's confusing me, Leo, is that you have the magician in reverse. The magician is someone who works behind the scenes. They are an energy that is the beginning of something. But when it's in reverse here, it kind of makes me pick up on that the things that you were doing, Leo, in the past, you've come to realize that they weren't really the best moves. Excuse me. That the things that you were working on or working towards weren't really serving you, Leo. Because of the Seven of Cups here in reverse, you no longer have those illusions of success. I believe that now things have kind of come full circle for you in a sense. But the only thing is, I feel like you're coming out of this period, but you're still kind of stuck in it in a sense because of the Four of Swords here, but in reverse. When the Four of Swords is in reverse, it can speak about being away from silence and peace and old troubles resurfacing. Is this maybe why, Leo, you kind of feel like you can't work behind the scenes or you can't manifest the things that you kind of want to? Because you're kind of maybe coming into that period of learning about maybe higher consciousness in terms of meditation, tarot reading, whatever the case may be. I'm kind of picking up on, Leo, that you've come to realize that there may be, well, there are, I should say, but in your perspective, that maybe there are things out there that are much greater than you are. And I mean that in a kind and considerate manner. That there are uncontrollable forces, Leo, that you can't necessarily guide or put your own power and your own will or impose your own will on certain things, Leo, that things will just happen the way that they do. And I feel like you did have those moments or that moment of, figuratively speaking, maybe melting a little bit. You kind of realize like, okay, what I'm doing is not really working. But I feel like, Leo, you're in the midst of this, which makes sort of sense when the Four of Swords is in reverse, but Spirit gave you the advice of the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is, when it's upright like that, it's intelligence and clear thinking, powerful personality, and powerful emotions. I feel like these powerful emotions, Leo, that are surfacing are starting to change your perspective on things. I want to say that I'm picking up on that it's starting to cause you to look at the power in which you impose yourself maybe on people or on certain situations, and how that can maybe not be such a tactful solution or a tactful approach, because people tend to kind of cower away from forcefulness as so. And maybe people have left, and maybe people have kind of put space between you and them, or maybe it was your choice. But I feel like those emotions came up, Leo, and you really had to deal with it. And you really had to see that the things that you were sacrificing for, this is the hangman in reverse, the things that you were sacrificing for, Leo, they weren't ideal. They weren't the right moves for you, and they weren't viable for your future, Leo. Because in your advice section right here, Spirit gave you the Three of Cups. But when it's in reverse like Aso, it's repressed feelings and instability. Because I feel like you ignored those feelings, Leo, of your intuition in a sense, by listening to that little voice that says, no, 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 don't approach it like that. Don't approach it with such vigor and such force. Have a little bit of a calmer approach. Have a little bit of a diluted approach. So therefore, it's absorbed by people. Because if it's just go, 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 you step over people's boundaries. I'm not saying you do, but I feel like you're coming out of that period. And I want to say you're coming out of the period of denial. I would think that was your reading for your last monthly for May. I'm sorry, April. April was denial, I want to say. I feel like you're coming out of that, Leo. Now you're finally starting to listen to your higher consciousness, and you're starting to kind of realize, you know what? My forceful, fiery nature, it's great and it serves me at times. But it's not always the best approach, because it really isn't. And it's very hard to control it, especially if you have like a Leo moon, because it's just that me, I selfish nature is in your emotions if you have a Leo moon. I mean, also if you're Leo as well, but especially if you have a Leo moon, it's just that much more pronounced and it's that much more apparent. But you're starting to come to terms with that part of yourself that used to work. But unfortunately, Leo, it doesn't work anymore. And I'm glad that you're starting to realize this. It's now time for a change, Leo. And I feel like you're on the right track. But the only thing that's kind of worrying me is that you still have the Nine of Stones in reverse in terms of what's crowning you or what's in your thoughts. So I feel like you are still battling with misusing material gains and with somewhat of greed, the me, I kind of thing. But it's okay, at least you're recognizing it. And you're actually kind of stagnant right now, but you're stagnant in a contemplative space, which is kind of strange to say because, I mean, being stagnant isn't really necessarily the best thing. But I feel like being stagnant in a hermit phase is pretty good. Sorry, the glare, guys. I feel like being stagnant in the hermit phase is actually really good, Leo. But let's not stay there too long, though. But I feel like this is really good because I feel like this is what needed to happen, Leo, for you to realize these things. And this new moon in Taurus has to do with recognizing the sinister parts of us. And we're going to see them play out in our dealings with people, in our fraternizations, in our relationships with family members, partnerships. We're going to be forced to see that sinister, controlling, elusive, kind of sneaky part of us. And we're going to be forced to change. And this is good, Leo, because I feel like you're listening to that higher consciousness and to something that's bigger than you. And you're starting to go with it. Which is great because it is a new start, like the Ace of Swords. It's that clear thinking. It's that intelligence. It's using that intelligence to your, I don't want to say advantage, but in a sense, to your viability. Let's just put it that way. Because the Three of Cups, also in reverse, is representative of not necessarily having the best or having joy in the company of other people, Leo. When it's in reverse, it means that we don't have that. Because maybe then you realize, Leo, that some of your actions were blocking you from actually enjoying those times with people. And it was causing stagnation in a sense with those people, or it was drawing them away from you. Or maybe you just came out of a period where you realized that some of the people that you were around wasn't happening. So you needed to make that change. But the Magician here is kind of worrying me a little bit in reverse. Also the Four of Swords too, in a sense. But I feel like it's a good thing. I've never really had this in a reading where things were in reverse, but it was kind of good, because I feel like this is the beginning of stuff happening, of the beginning of your future and you actually unraveling the newer, better you. So this kind of stagnation, I'm going to give you a little pass here. This is pretty good. I like it. But we do need to turn that Magician upright pretty soon. Because now, Leo, you've recognized what's going on. So now that we've recognized it, let's work on it. But most importantly, let's implement it. And I feel like you're at that next stage of implementation. So, right here we have the Eight of Stones, which is also the Eight of Pentacles, which can speak of careful and moderate. But you need to avoid excess action, which coincides with what we were just discussing right now about not doing too much, not giving too much. Because, Leo, when we give too much, or when we do too much, it really turns other people off. It also turns you off. And what it also does too, Leo, is it prevents you from actually putting yourselves in viable solutions that are going to better yourself. Because when you give too much and you just do too much and it's just team too much is what I call it, when you just throw a lot on it, the over exaggeration, the hyperbolization of things, when things are blown out of proportion, it turns everything into a very childlike manner. It's very naive and it's very like very childish in terms of like, I took your candy away, so now you're upset, like that kind of thing. Because then when people see that in you, Leo, they're like, oh no, I'm not gonna mess with that. No, no, no. And then they just turn around and then they walk away. And it's just like, next. But you don't want people to see you like that anymore, Leo, because you do have a lot to offer. You have a lot of a good sense of pride. You go for what you want and you are very persistent. You know, it can be useful, but just watch the bitterness. That's all. And the Eight of Stones is clarified by the Eight of Swords, but it's in reverse, which can speak of, well, no interference, but also maybe avoiding responsibility. Now, Leo, we must ask ourselves, what is this responsibility in which we are possibly avoiding? Why do we feel the need to avoid that responsibility? Is it maybe the responsibility of taking your portion of the issue, or maybe taking your end of the responsibility in terms of whatever's going on currently? But once again, I feel like the first set of cards, I feel like it's the beginning stages, Leo. Once again, clarifying it with the Ace of Swords. The powerful personality and the powerful emotions and how they play a part in things, Leo. And how when we do that too muchness, the team too much, it's just lack of taking responsibility for our end of the deal. Because we have to realize, Leo, that yeah, someone got us upset or we made someone else upset. But what did we do or what did they do to you that caused that irritation and that to get that rise out of you or to you get that rise out of them? That's taking your end of the responsibility. And some things are justified, Leo, but it only works for so long. And we can't always justify every single thing, Leo. There comes a point in time when we need to just, be mature about it and grow up and just say, you know what? I'm not going to go down that path anymore because that's what I used to do. And I feel like, Leo, you're at that point. But the Seven of Stones is worrying me a little bit. Because on the card, it actually says failure. And it also means having discord and to fail without careful redirection. That's the exception, is to fail without the redirection or without the careful redirection. But I feel like, Leo, you're now being careful. So once again, I have to name that. I kind of like that. This is very interesting to me. When the cards are in reverse, when they're meant to be, I don't want to say bad, but when they're meant to be taken or have a negative connotation maybe attached to it, but yet it's at a prosperous time or it's at a needed time. In the comments, see what you guys can come up with. Maybe make it 2 words, something kind of simple to the point. I gotta be the Virgo that I am, right? And think about the word, or words. But I do like it though. This is like really interesting. This is really good, Leo. I feel very, very good about this. Just watch out for possible failure. You need to always have that redirection and that careful redirection in your mind. And remind yourself how far you've come to get to this beginning point, to this Ace of Swords moment. How you're right there. You're beginning it. And I like it, Leo. And I want to say that that's why you came into the reading as the sun. Because your vitality is up, because now I think you're starting to see the positive reactions that you're getting from certain people that maybe didn't give you the time of day at one time. But now that you're changing and now that you're realizing and you're taking, your end of the responsibility, they're starting to say, oh, I might like this little line here. Because are you how do I say this? Are you the young lion? I mean the one that's male and female, but are you the young male lion? Are you the young male lion without the mane or with the mane? Because I feel like that's what it comes down to. You're starting to grow your mane out now. And I'm super happy for that. This is really good, Leo. I feel very, very good about this. And this is only going to get better. And it's going to be a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but it's going to be a little arduous, kind of. It's kind of the same thing as difficult, but to have to remind yourself and catch yourself, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. But eventually, Leo, when you start to catch yourself so much, it becomes second nature and you just change. And then you start to just be and embody this new person. And it just comes natural. And you won't even have to think about it anymore. Because now you're starting to see the positivity that comes out of positive change. But it's rough, Leo. I can see it. It took a lot of contemplation. It took a lot of probably moments of Three of Cups in reverse. In this sense right here, having those moments of people going, oh God, or lame, like lame, you know what I mean? Like those having those moments of like, oh wow, like things were thrown in your face, Leo, but look at those as gifts, Leo, because they actually were gifts. They were gifts pertaining to the start of your change. And you can't be mad at that, right? All right, Leo, I mean, hey, that was pretty straightforward. But really, guys, in the comments, go ahead and let me know the word, what we should come up with. We'll make it a little group project for us. Anyone cross-watching as well? When cards of stagnation and cards of a detrimental time are actually success, but success, like intermittent success in a sense, because it's momentarily working. It's like adverse success or something like that. Or maybe we can call it that, like something along those lines. I still want to hear you guys out and see what you guys think about naming it in that. What you guys think about naming something like that. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, Leo. Let me see. Let's ask for 3 cards for how to come out of this period, even though we want to stay in this period. But let's have 3 cards in terms of how to maybe. Let's ask Spirit like this, Leo. Let's ask, what else should Leo be prepared for in terms of the road that they're on of success, of adverse success? Spirit, please release up to 3 cards for Leo for other advice for adverse success. Okay. Father of Stones. Up to 2 more cards, I'm sorry, Spirit, for this adverse success period. And how do we stay in it? And what should we do or avoid so that we can stay within this period, or Leo can stay within this period? Okay, this card flipped to the side. I kind of want to take it because it flipped. And this one popped out too. I'm going to take those 2. The 6 of Wands. Look what it says. Victory. Okay, we got the 2 of Cups in reverse. Something told me to look underneath the deck, and it's the High Priestess. I'm going to add her to it. Okay, Leo. So the Father of Stones is someone who can be described as the fundamental male who loves their family and nature and who's a hard worker. Pretty straightforward, right? I feel like you're embodying this, Leo, this earth energy, given that the Hermit was in your guys' thoughts, which is representative of Virgo, specifically Virgo. And because of it, Leo, you have victory, the 6 of Wands. Triumph and confidence and firm action and inspiration. Were you inspired because you finally came to that realization, Leo, that that the quarreling, the jealousy, maybe from you or from other people, or of situations, or maybe coveting of other people's possessions, uncertain future, and lack of commitment was just not working anymore for you, Leo. You were done. You're done with it. You don't want to feel like that anymore. And only you can make that decision. And why did that happen, Leo? Because you listened to your intuition. You listened, Leo. You took that moment and that time to be like, oh, okay. This is what it is now. And look what it brought you. Victory. Success. But let's keep this going, Leo. Let's keep this momentum going. Because I like it. It's helping, Leo. It's making you feel good. The sun. I can't get any better than that. There was something else I wanted to mention to you guys about one of the spreads here. Sorry, let me find it. I think it was this one right here. Or was it 2, 2, 8? Is this one? This one. Oh gosh. I think I lost it here. Oh, I think it was this one, yeah. I want to say this was at the top. Yeah, I think interference. I want to say it was like this, Leo. something to this effect. I think it was like this. When we have two eights or any number together, it means that we have a choice or we have a decision to make. I'm not sure if it was exactly like this, but I think these were the cards. It means that we have a decision to make. And which one are we going to make about the card in the center? You know, these are next to each other. You can throw that, you can mean that, you know, that's in the center. So are we going to continue to be in interference? Or are we going to choose to not be in interference because we're seeking the knowledge? We have to decide what's the one we're going to take. And I feel like, Leo, you took the right one. You chose to seek the knowledge, which prevented the interference. Which is good. And then 4 and 4, 8, 8. Weird, right? Okay. But yeah, Leo, look, see, this is great. Super happy for you. This is what it is. Even though it was hard on you guys last month, this makes me very happy when I see spreads like this, because where respect and own or respect and virtue is due, I'll give it. For sure. And when, you know, we need to hear certain things, I'll give it as well. But this is good. I like it, Leo. This is nothing but positivity. Okay, I think that concludes your reading. I'll make sure to comment on your choice of what we're going to call that. But, yeah. All right, Leo. Hope you enjoyed your reading for the month of May 2017.